absorb the lesson that he was trying to teach. And so I said, well, why can't I do that for math? It's, I have to, do a lot of work to create the symbols and make the PowerPoint, but I think it will help the students if they don't have to, it became a sort of a handwriting exercise. Could you keep up with the professor? And it shouldn't be that way. And so I think that if we, note taking is very important, and so being in class and being engaged and taking notes is a very important part. But if I can help them in any way, like, give them some kind of help where they don't have to write down everything, and maybe when it comes time to solve the problem, write that down. But the definition, they could, all these kids, they look everything up online, and so you can Google almost anything. And so why not just have the definition there for them, and then let's talk about how to use the definition. Let's get engaged on solving problems instead of just writing down everything that I say.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
I don't know.
yes, yes.
It's useful,
That was
yeah.
a teaching strategy
Yeah.
that you
I had to relearn,
realized
yeah.
that was important in order to help your young people begin to learn and to move forward in mathematics, is not to focus in on just this one aspect, but at scaffolding that information so that they didn't have to handle everything. And I think I know with me when as I look with young people, because we have our SAT prep and we're trying to
Wednesday
begin
nights.
to work with them and trying to catch up, because like you said, it's hard to catch up on some of those skills that you missed out on, and you don't know. Now here you are at the test and you're trying to teach the strategies, but if you don't have the skills or the information, it's hard to put those strategies into use. You have to have those skills, and that's why it's so important to, like you said, put in that extra time, practice more with your math problems, and things you don't understand, don't let it defeat you. And often that happens with our young people. They become defeated and they begin to fear it because they don't have an understanding of it. And so you have to either practice, you can Google, like you said, if you don't know anything nowadays, because my parents didn't have that type of background. And so I just didn't know, and then didn't grow. But nowadays you have computers, you can Google anything and find out any information that you want to find out right there on the computer. So now it's your initiative and your drive and your willingness. That's what it comes down to. Take the time out in order to learn that information.
Yeah, and the professors or the teachers, they have to meet the kids where they're at too. Like, I noticed that the kids are on YouTube all the time watching videos or doing other things, and so I said, why can't they watch math on YouTube? And so I decided to think about ways I could use it as a teaching tool. Why can't I put a problem being solved up on YouTube? Or why can't I have to learn it myself. I don't know how, but I'll figure it out. And the students now, they're like, that was so valuable. It was like I was in your class. You were sitting there. I could hear your voice. I could see you writing, and you solved the problem. And so that could be something that that we could use for the teachers, for the students, to help them get caught up. They can watch a YouTube video anytime they want. And so why can't we just record some things like that for them? And so that's sort of something I had to learn to reach the kids where they're at,
Right.
and turn it around, instead of watching it for videos, watch it for math.
Right.
Why not?
Right, in this age of technology, you're utilizing that technology in order to get that message across.
Whatever it takes to get the message across.
That's right.
Well, we're happy to have you here because, I'm sitting here thinking, we do a lot of work with the high school young people, 9th through 12th grade, getting them ready for college, taking the PSAT. But, my vision right now, or our vision, as I'm thinking about the young people, and I know one school district, we're very proud of what they're doing, working with the first graders, second graders, third graders, the Lego programs. They're really dealing with the STEM programs. They're really involved with trying to get young people to do mathematics and science. And I'm reaching out to all of our educators, particularly those in the area of mathematics, and particularly to the city of Wilmington, Newcastle County. We must help our young people at the end of the school day to give them that extra work after school. And we work hard with them with basketball, and I spent a lot of time training young people, and they went on to make All-State and that sort of thing. We're very proud of that. But I'm interested, and I'd say not me, my wife and I, we're talking about mathematic camps during the summer, Lego camp during the summer, STEM programs during the summer. We must continue to give our young people an opportunity to make the big bucks. And the big bucks are in mathematics and science. And we can sit and play with it all we want, but we have to keep putting that in the face of our young people and working with our parents to get them to understand that just learning the timetables and being able to do math in terms of subtraction, addition, we got to go beyond that. Math is being taught in a different way. And we just don't want to sit back. We know we have a new mayor coming on board, a new member of, that's going to be city council president, those things. Those guys are really involved with education. And we must continue to find ways to fix the village. And you fix it through feeding them mathematics, science. We have to give them opportunities to do things with their hands, building simple machines, those kinds of things. So I'm not knocking any district. I'm just simply saying there's a vision out there, and we need to get on point. When I look at a young man like you, and I'm saying you up there giving that knowledge to an area of Pennsylvania, and I know that we should be doing the same thing right here in Wilmington, Delaware, and Newcastle County. So I know my wife has been giving you some valuable questions, and you've done very well. But we really appreciate your vision, and I know that she has some things that she's been thinking. She thinks outside the box much more than I do. But I'm just so proud to hear your vision in terms of what you are doing with young people and why you're doing it.
And we know that we're trying. I know in Red Clay we did had the Lego, and STEM initiative, trying to expose the younger people to our younger audiences to STEM, because we know that those are the careers of the future.
Yes.
And we know that our borders are now seamless. And many of our young people that are sitting in seats nowadays will be working overseas.
Yes.
And so the competition is even greater. You're not competing, and as we tell young people, you're not just competing with the people here just in the United States, you're competing with many people in other countries. And so you want to make certain you have that competitive edge.
Yes.
And so you need to be learning those skills that are needed so that you can be competitive. And
Yes.
it comes right down to your reading.
Absolutely.
And parents having a reading library at home, making certain that their children in the library. In fact, I went to the library today, and it was so crowded at the library, I was shocked. And I didn't realize on a Sunday, all these people in the library, which was a good thing, that they're going to the libraries. I didn't know they were going on Sundays, but they were there. You could barely find a parking space in the library. But it was
That's
nice
the Newark
to,
Library.
yeah,
Okay.
it was nice
Keep it
to
real.
see the young people in the libraries. And there has to be a reason why they are opening up on Sundays, I guess, because they see that need. But also in mathematics. Now, how do you see our young people coming in freshmen? What things are they lacking? What would you say?
With the classes that I teach, the algebra that's necessary to do well in the college classes, it's not there. They might have learned it well, in high school. They might have done really well, and they might even have had up classes past that. But the teacher and the professor in college, they expected to know it so well that they don't go over it. They have no time to. They have so much time dedicated to teaching the new material that they expect you to know it, and it becomes a hassle. Like they in the middle of a problem, you're trying to solve a problem, whatever, calculus or just any kind of college mathematics problem, and so much of the problem requires algebra that you get stuck. And a lot of my students, they'll know what I'm teaching them. They'll get halfway through the problem, but when they're on their own, now you go solve it from there. They can't, because they can't remember. Maybe it wasn't taught well. Maybe they forgot. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. So maybe they forgot how necessary it was to solve for X, or these things I need to do to solve this equation. I remember it from 9th grade, but it's been so long. I didn't have to take a senior. This is tough when they don't have to take a senior year of math. Like they take a year off of math right before starting college. I don't understand that. But anyway,
something wrong with that. Yes.
Yeah. But
yeah.
But I know
it's so important, the algebra.
Right, and see, I know from working in high school, A lot of times the young people want to know, well, why do I have to know algebra, you know?
Yeah.
And so what you're saying, that if you're looking at a post-secondary attendance, then it's important, algebra is an important component of that.
Major. And they just, and then I can't spend the time to review those skills. So I have to, like, you know, make some videos for them. Okay, if you want to understand how to factor, if you need to factor to solve this problem. I don't remember factoring. Okay, watch some videos to you know, refresh your memory about how to do it, and then maybe, you know, by the time you get back to our problem, you could solve it. And so it's these basic skills that they need going in: factoring, adding, subtracting positive and negative numbers, just beyond the arithmetic that they need to do well in any calculus, not just calculus, but just any college course, college math, basic math. You know, those skills that the professor has no time to go over, and they expect them to know it. And so it's tough. I spend, you know, as much as I can on it, but I meet a lot of students outside in my, you know, my office hours. Just, okay, let's spend time on it now. Let's talk about how to do all this. And so if they had a strong background, and if they maybe the summer before coming to college, you know, they graduated, and then they have the summer, and you know, they celebrate, and then they go to college. That time there is precious. They have to spend time doing math or just getting ready. A preparatory course would be great.
And that factoring, isn't that based on expanded notation? Doesn't it start with, and expanded notation they teach in 4th grade?
Yeah.
So when they finish the end of the year, you'd be surprised how many young people, when school's out and they're ready to throw those books in the trash can, they need to keep those books and start a library so that they can go back to those books when they in 4th grade, when they started with expanded notation and factoring. And they teach the positive, negative numbers. They teach that also. So parents, they need to hold on to those notebooks, because later on, if you have for your child, you want your child to go to a post-secondary setting, and you plan on them going to college, in case they forget some of those skills, they can go right back to the elementary book and begin to review. And that will help them to sustain that information, because like you said, if you don't use it every day, you forget aspects of it. So during the summer, they can pull out those notebooks and begin to review them. So it's part of being organized and realizing that information that you learn in elementary school will be valuable to you as you sit in that college course, and in order to meet with success.